We had a large snowfall event here in the Bismarck Mandan area. Temperatures dropped, ice formed in a hurry, and that ice was moving downstream. It caught on an area where there are a fair number of sandbars and began to interlock and cause that water to back up into the Bismarck Mandan area.
I noticed when you looked across to Fort Lincoln that there was no open water really to see across the river. I had been watching it for a couple of days leading up because it did rise 3 feet on Tuesday.
We have had ice jams here in the Bismarck Mandan area in the past. Some of them from contributing rivers, some of them from the Missouri River itself, some in the middle of the winter when it's super cold out. This one, it happened to be warmer weather, and there is no one size fits all as to how these things form, nor how to deal with them either.
We got a lot of folks, especially when it comes to flooding. This team's worked together a lot over the years. The night the water came up, there was not much we could do that night to address the situation, but it did give us a head start on planning operations for the next day.
We worked through an iterative process and decided to give this a try where we use the river to help the river, taking water from the river, and so we're not introducing any new materials to the river as a novel idea to perhaps try something that hadn't been tried in the past.
Ultimately, what we could get out in a timely fashion that was safe was to utilize our water buckets to drop over 2 tons of water on the ice from about 80 feet, effectively breaking up the river's ice.
And then when we got out there, we actually did break up, in total, probably 5 football fields worth of ice to go down the river.
And then I think the pilots were gaining knowledge as the day went on, how to attack the ice, where you could find a weak point, how you could exploit that weak point to get after more of the ice.
It was cool to see how they were just working their way up towards our house. At first they started maybe a mile away, and pretty soon they were 2 houses away.
It was so fun to watch them just go up the river and watch them drop bucket after bucket.
You could see it was working because we could see, first we couldn't see open water down the way, and then we could see the open water creeping up our way.
And then the river just opened up and they just hovered above, and we all stood there watching. All the neighbors were out, so very, very grateful. Very, very grateful.
It's a good feeling to know that they came out there. I mean, they're taking videos and stuff, so they were supporting us, and we just felt like we were doing the right thing to try and help those houses not flood and just get that ice out of the way.
We were able to get that ice jam free, and then once that little bit started, obviously Mother Nature with the river and the full water took care of the rest.
I've done this for a long time. I've fought fires over trains, wildfires, sandbag over flooding dams. This is a new one for me. I've never dropped water on a frozen river before. We'll put that one in my playbook for the future.
This is a unique situation. Normally the Bambi buckets are used for fire and stuff, but in this scenario it worked out for us.
You know, I think it's a success. I think absolutely other states could look to this as an example. You know, if they have a similar problem in the future, use this experience, use this, these techniques, put into their decision matrix and see if it's the right fit for them.
It was a good idea to pull the EOC together as quickly as we did. It brings all people to the table. Everybody's got a piece of information, and then we get the group all together at the same time, hearing the same information at the same time, so we can make sound decisions to move forward with whatever path that may be.
The Department of Emergency Services, which is the lead coordinating agency for all responses in North Dakota, does a fantastic job of getting all the right players together. They know who needs to be in the room. They know who needs to be part of the team.
You sit in those briefings and you're talking to the Army Corps at one point, and then bleeds down to the state. The state wants to know our concerns, and we make an action plan, and that's how things are supposed to operate. And yesterday was a prime example of that.
It really was great teamwork from the federal, state, down to the local level to make sure we save property and homes in Bismarck and Mandan.
It's really like heartwarming, I guess you could say, that the community worked together to make sure that everybody was safe.